Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Today I'm going to kind of talk about an issue that's kind of come up, and it seems to be becoming more and more popular. And it's about whether or not to reuse your cam and lifters after you have a bearing failure or cam failure or something go wrong with your motor. What I am figuring out and what I do myself, and haven't published a lot about it, but it seems like it's kind of getting to be a little concerning. I've had comments from guys, oh, I've lost my cam 3 times. And okay, well, if you think about when you lose a camshaft, you're putting metal filings into the motor. And when you put metal filings into the motor, they go everywhere, behind your cam bearings, into seals, into your lifters, and if you got roller rockers or in your roller rocker bearings, all those filings are everywhere. So you got to clean everything and or replace it. And that's where it's leading me up to this. I've got this 5.3 behind there I'm building for myself. And you do this is at your own discretion. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Who knows? But with the economy the way it is and the horror stories of lifters being bad nowadays, well, this is a set of lifters that was from a motor that was new, that had a failure, and I saved them. Well, I finally, after, because they didn't have any mileage on them, they really didn't. And from what I'm seeing, they're not wore out by any means, but they were stuck together, and I finally ended up using my ultrasonic cleaner with the heat cycle, and I got them apart. And if you guys have never seen the inside of a lifter, well, here you go. There's little springs, the cups, the ball, those pieces that those go, your retainers, and some more springs. And that all goes inside that. So if I count it up, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moving parts inside a lifter. And if I can do this with showing you and show you at the same time, and yes, I do use the gloves because I noticed my hand was starting to discolor, so cleaned it up, and I'm going to show you how bad. And I've done this with other lifters, and namely that when I have a bearing failure, I will take a lifter apart. I mean, they're not hard to work on, and what I've done right now is I've used this tray, I've used a carb cleaner, put it in there, let it soak, and I take the brush in there, work it around, and let's see, get this where you guys, here is the black stuff that comes out of that. It's nasty down in there. It was. And then I take some more carb cleaned, because I've cleaned the outsides and the rollers, everything on these, and spray that out. And I take a clean white rag, ball it up, and force it down in there, dry it out. And then I'll use a flashlight, look down in there, and all the machine surfaces are clean. So, I don't know if that's going to show for you guys or not, but that's all nice and clean down in there. That's what I've been doing. And I've got some more parts here I've cleaned them. Now I got a wire brush, brush them all down, clean them up. And this is what the end result is. Oops, it was already open. This one I did last night, so I know it was a success. These are hydraulic rollers for a roller motor, and it's plunging again. Yesterday, they were locked solid. Couldn't do nothing with them. And everything's been oiled up, re-oiled the roller bearings, cleaned her all up, so now, and I know some of you are going to say, oh, the roller lifters are cheaper than trying to reuse these. Well, right now, me doing this myself is saving me a little over $200. Yeah, it's taking me, I know my time's worth money too, but this way I don't have to sit here and wait for parts to show up and be delivered. And I've got these right here, and it's for myself. So I guess if you guys really need to think about it, if you're going to reuse a set of camel lifters and you had a bearing failure or dirt get into your motor, you really got to take your lifters apart. And yes, you got to keep them in order so they go back where they're supposed to. For me, I've done it both ways. I've kept them in order, and I've just put them back in and ran them, and knock on wood, I didn't have any problems. So I want to finish cleaning these up, and then I'll start assembling. But yeah, you got to think about where all that metal filings and that go inside your motor. Any place that oil can go, that also means the trash can go, and it's going to create problems. And I've heard so many of you guys, and that's where the flat tappet cams are getting a bad rep now. It's because nobody's checking to make sure there's a taper on the lobe. Nobody's checking to make sure there's a taper on the bottom of the lifter. And like reusing cams, which I've been guilty of reusing cams all my life. And but not thinking, and you wonder why the next motor you put it together, it didn't last when you reuse that cam. Well, you're getting metal into little places that it will not wash out. So hopefully that makes you understand, and I'll show you guys the assembly of a couple of these, and that's just my feelings on it. I mean, the part supply market has changed from what we're used to, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get stuff done. So, all right. Okay, there's what I've put together so far, but you got to put that little bitty spring down in there, ball down in there, and I kind of figured out if I take and, now it probably won't work on camera. It probably won't because I hope it did. Push that down. And that one actually went all the way, otherwise I was taking the little bitty flat screwdriver and putting the shit down there. So yeah, all the parts are cleaned now. So yeah, the way these go are right there on top of those. And like that, I'll try and get set up, and then we're going to show you how to put these together. Okay, I'm down to the last one. I've got the other done. Go in here, and now I've tried this both ways. I've tried doing it this way to put it in, and then I've gone to just dropping the spring in, making sure. A little more oil on here. Now we'll see if I can do this on camera. Use a blunt object to springing. Just a little bit more oil in there. And drop that in. Oh, doing good so far. Come on. There we go. Ha! Okay. There we go. I don't know why that was. It's working now, so. And then, since these rollers have been cleaned very well, put oil in from one side. And then rub around on the body to keep it from rusting, and there you go. Let me clean my hands. Yeah, that's easy. Don't want to touch the camera because that don't come off the camera too good. And for you guys wondering if it was worth taking those apart and cleaning them up, that's some of the stuff that came out of those lifters. That is the reason behind those lifters coming apart. Now, last one you see me struggle with, I got it working, but I got them all cleaned up, ready to go in that motor right there. So, like I said, if you, to me, there's not a problem reusing cam and lifters, but if you've had any kind of dirt, bearing failure, or anything, you got to take every piece of that motor apart and clean it and wash it out so you don't continue to have the same problems. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, if the cam went bad, you're going to put a new set of lifters on it anyway. Yes, in that situation, you wouldn't even take them apart. You'd just throw them away because you don't know how bad they're wiped. But in a reuse situation, that's the best thing to do. Take all your lifters apart, clean them, prep everything, and it should be good to go. So anyway, everybody, you all take care, and leave a comment down below. See what your thoughts are on this subject, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody.